Three, two, one. Very pleased now to be joined here in New Orleans at Super Bowl 59 by the one and only, my very good friend, my best friend, some people are saying, Super Bowl winner himself, Victor Cruz. Victor, thanks so much for hanging out with the Nation.
Oh, man.
I have a theory that I would like. I have two theories. One's my dad's, though, so I want to vet them through you.
Okay.
You're not wearing your Super Bowl ring right now, but I always was under the impression that this was like the week to do it.
You're right.
Like maybe you have like a personal event, like maybe there's a graduation or something that you do and you put it on, but this feels like the code, like I'm supposed to wear it, and everybody who has one wears one this specific week.
You're right, and I dropped the ball on that because I'm thinking about so many other things, trying to get here, trying to make the flight, trying to pack all the clothes I need, because I'm also going to Qatar on Sunday. I'm not going to the game and flying out of here. So I was just focused on making sure I have enough clothes to make the whole trip, happen and work. So I dropped the ball. Plus, my mom also hoards all of my winnings. She has my rings, she has my trophies, she has all the stuff from Little League all the way through. So it's pretty much hoarded at the moment.
There's a lot there. First of all, I don't know how often Victor Cruz has said the sentence, I dropped the ball. So I'll consider that a win. Second, congrats to your mom having your stuff. That's good for her.
Yep.
Maybe she's got a nice little museum. You getting some golf in Qatar?
I'm getting some golfing in Qatar. A friend of mine is doing like this initiative with Nobu, and there's like some food stuff based around it, but it's also like a full week of events, and I definitely hit him up like golf has to be on the itinerary. He was like, absolutely.
Yeah. You have talked a lot of golf before.
Yep.
I've interviewed you before just over Zoom. I asked you as we were kind of getting set up here, who's winning the waste management.
Yeah.
We have football things to get to, but I do have to know, this is I would say the sixth best week in golf outside of the four majors and the players. So who do you like?
Well, first of all, shout out to Rory. He's one of my favorite golfers. He's probably top two. Adam Scott's my favorite. I just love his golf swing.
Okay.
But as far as waste management, I'm going Ludwig Oberg. I think, he's just been trending, and he's playing well, and he's a phenomenal golfer, obviously. But I got to pick somebody not named Scotty Scheffler, so I'm going with Ludwig to see what he does.
Yeah, some people say that Adam has the prettiest swing in golf, so that's a very solid.
And for him to be, I mean, obviously older than
the field, yeah,
and still be competing and swinging 180, club swing, club head speed is really insane.
So Adam won the Masters in 2013, and that was just shortly after you'd won the Super Bowl. This week of all weeks, does that come back? Do you kind of revisit? It's been now 13 years. When you do things like this and you do the radio, it's fun. It's different than if you've never done, won this before. It's a cooler thing.
Yeah, it's very cool just to have the opportunity here after winning one and being on the other side of it, right? And doing the radio conversation about what it felt like to win, like to prepare. It's always a fun week for me. This is always a fun experience, and get to relive a lot of those moments and relive the touch, the song, and on it. My family was and all of that. So it's a very nostalgic week for me.
So we're chatting Thursday, which is for part of that Super Bowl, the MVP of that Super Bowl, and your quarterback. Well, you and I are chatting. It's about 10 a.m. Central Time, or about 9-ish from finding out whether he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Are you aware at how volatile the question is whether or not Eli's a Hall of Famer?
Yeah, because I've been answering it even while. I remember while we were playing, was he elite? I remember that being the whole thing.
It was him and Joe Flacco. That was the era.
Correct, yeah. Exactly. So, I mean, I think he's going to get in. I think his body of work speaks for itself. I think when you beat the GOAT two times and a two-time Super Bowl MVP, I think that helps as well. So I just think his body of work speaks for itself. Playing in New York, his consistency, I think seeing, and it doesn't hurt that his last name is Manning also. So I think he gets in.
I think the storyline-driven business, being in New Orleans, is helpful for Eli's story candidacy. If you had to, I'm going to walk around and ask some fans to either defend the case that he is or isn't, in a singular sentence, like a 30-second soundbite. Eli Manning is a Hall of Famer, which you obviously believe. Why?
Eli Manning is a Hall of Famer because of the consistency that he's had over a number of years in the league, as well as a two-time Super Bowl MVP.
Right on. It's your quarterback. I'm a Cowboys guy, and I always thought it was crazy that T.O. got flack for that. Like everyone that said he was like a locker room issue, and then he defends his quarterback and cries, and people make fun of him for it. It's like, what do you want from the guy? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. It's almost like, you damned if you do, damned if you don't. You know what I mean? And I thought it was a moment
Right.
for him and simplified who he was and what he was as a teammate and what he was in that locker room. As much as we wanted to maybe and all the things he's done off the field, all the theatrics he's also done on the field. I think at the root of it, when he's in that locker room, people loved him, and he loved their quarterback, and he loved, playing football. And I think, him showing his emotion was taken the wrong way, because I saw a true teammate and a guy that believed and loved his team and wanted to win badly, and everybody else just kind of poked fun at it.
To kind of accentuate, that was a moment that only happened because of Eli. If you think about it.
Exactly.
So,
it all comes full circle.
what brings you to the Super Bowl, obviously?
Obviously, I'm here with Captain Morgan, and they brought me out here, as we've done many years already. I think this is maybe the third or fourth year. Just doing this with them. Obviously, there's two initiatives. One is the NFL Fan of the Year, and the fans is what makes this thing go, right? The fans is what makes the NFL tick and makes us come out each and every day. This is what we do it for. Besides our family and ourselves, we do it for the fans. So they have the Ultimate Fan of the Year being announced on NFL Honors, which is going to be super fun. So we'll see. I'll get a chance to meet some of those guys and women and see who they are and get to know them a little bit. And then on top of that, there's a huge party called the Rum Street Party that Captain Morgan is doing along with T-Pain. So I'm excited because I haven't seen T-Pain perform in quite some time. And it'll be exciting just to see his energy and to see him in the room and see how the people react. And it's going to be insane. It's going to be on Bourbon Street in a bar in there, a nice, beautiful layout, and T-Pain's going to be rocking the house, so it should be fun.
Excellent. So we can follow along on social. Is there a website we can go to, check this out, more information?
Yes, if you're 21 and older,
Obviously.
Please go to followthecaptain.com. All the information is there, how to get in, how to get tickets, how to make it happen, and remember to drink responsibly.
Last two, are you or were you upset when the Giants lost out on the number one overall pick? Like, can you allow yourself to get in that situation and be like? I imagine you're a Giants fan now. You root for them, but you also know what it's like to be in a situation like that.
Yeah, for sure. I was, as a fan, I was upset because I was just like,
You want the options.
We want the options, right? We want the options and be able to get the player we want to get. But as a player, it's like, how do you do that? How do you tell players not to try hard or like to sort of speak? It's just impossible at the NFL level. You have to go out there and put your best foot forward because it's an audition for everyone, especially when you're having the type of year that we've had. Every time you go out there, you're auditioning for next year in that team or 31 other teams around the league. So it was definitely a little gut-wrenching as a fan, from a fan perspective. But as a player, I understood.
No, and in moments, your career happened because of a preseason, performance. I mean, you just never know what's going to open the door for you. So, last one, do you have a preference on who you want it to ultimately be? Are you a Cam Ward guy? Are you a guy? Like, where are you at?
I'm a Travis Hunter guy. Honestly.
Wow. Okay.
I like going Travis Hunter. We need a guy that is very difficult to game plan for, and I don't think we have that right now. We need a guy that you don't know whether he's going to play offense, defense. He's going to play 20 plays on offense, 20 plays on defense, special teams. We need a guy that is just a game breaker, a guy that can just wreck the game at any point in time, and whether that's with an interception for a touchdown or a long touchdown run. I think the guy has an unbelievable skill set that we can absolutely take advantage of and put him all over our football field and do something well. So we'll see what happens. I think we can get a quarterback in free agency and have a little placeholder for a year or two, and then Arch Manning comes in. I got a whole GM mind here that I've been thinking about for a few years now, but that's where I'm at. We get Travis Hunter, continue to build our roster, get a quarterback in free agency, whether it's Jameis Winston, Sam Darnold, one of those guys.
Kirk Cousins.
If that actually happens, and then we'll be in the Arch. But we got to do everything we need to do to get Arch Manning in a blue uniform.
That's your divisive, fan, former player situation,
Exactly.
And maybe Arch will have 2 Hall of Fame uncles, by the time that happens.
Look at that. That'll be first time ever. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we'll
Victor, I do want to say, covering the Eagles in the Super Bowl, talking to a really delightful New York Giants Super Bowl winner as a Dallas Cowboys is my personal help. So thank you for making that possible.
Nope, my pleasure, actually.